All right, we're crossing our fingers here and hoping everything works. And hooray! Okay. So, greetings and salutations, fellow wargamers and history buffs. We are in the process of trying to get our game up and going. We've got some folks that are kind of newer to Vassal. So they're having a little bit of a challenge getting signed in, but we should be fine here in just a few minutes. We are using Discord as our method of communication. And so the nice thing with Discord is that we can chat with each other. We've got a Bataille series, a Discord server, which allows us to chat with each other and then go into separate areas, separate voice channels when we want to chat with people. And so the nice thing with that is then we can, the French can get together and have a powwow in their part of the world. The coalition can have a powwow in their part of the world. And then when we're set up doing like left, right, center, the players that are kind of opposite each other at the game table can then go into separate game rooms, and then they can watch the other person doing their stuff. They can do their defensive fire, offensive fire, charges, all that good stuff, and we're not talking over each other all in the same channel. So we've been using this for large online Vassal games for La Bataille for quite a while now. We had done a live stream back in, I guess it would have been in early 2021, where we had a 6-player game of the Battle of Moscow. We had a 5-player game of the Battle of Dresden. So this works really well for all of that stuff, and it's a lot of fun. And of course, if you're on the server, you can crash our game. It looks like Alan, aka Stigler, has decided to pop in and say hello to everybody. Occasionally he'll give us some advice on issues we might be having with the Vassal modules. He's an expert at all things Vassal. So all right, I think we got most of our friends in. We're still maybe waiting on one more person. With this particular setup, so this is the map and the module. It's based on the version of La Bataille de Austerlitz that came out, probably 6-7 years ago. I think 2016 is when it was published. And so it's got an updated look from the original. There is an older version that's out there, and there's an older Vassal module which is not very pretty at all. So this one is much better, and so this is the one we're going to be using, and then we're using the setup and rules and everything else that came with the latest. We will be playing using the Premier rules. You can play this using some of the other rule sets, and the Labataille.us website has the information on how you would go about, kind of retrofitting the Marie Louise rules or the regs to a game that's primarily designed for, or originally designed for, Premier only. So that's something to think about. Let me go ahead and join in with my colleagues here in Discord and see how things are going. Hey guys, how are you?
We're well.
Good. We've got Alan is in the house. Hi, Alan.
Hello, how's it going?
Good, good. How's the playtesting for all things Civil War going?
Oh, it's really progressing. We're really getting into earnest on the last game in the package, and it's moving along. I've started dribbling things into the part. Yeah.
Well, cool. I'm glad to hear that. So is Brennan still trying to figure out how to sign into the module?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Robert, are you in?
working on that.
I'm here.
So are you
You hear me?
I can hear you. Are you in the Vassal module?
Yeah, he's BB.
Oh, you're BB.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm changing BB.
All right. That's okay. Well, there we
There you
go.
go.
That's better. I'm like, okay.
That's better.
I kind of figured it could be you. I mean, Brennan's also starts with a B, and you rarely go by Bob. So
Only yes. No. That's fine.
well, I'm Eric von Holmgren because we've been playing so many. We've been playing the Battle of Prague, so I'm on the Prussian team there. So I have to.
see.
I was von Niephausen at the Battle of Brandywine, so now I'm just von Holmgren.
Okay.
One of these.
Well,
Yes.
if we're not playing, we're playing the French. So
We are the
otherwise
French, so I gotta change myself to something else. You know,
I would change my name to Rupert, maybe.
Rupert. Yes. I think. Yeah, I'm not sure how Eric is spelled in French. Maybe with an A, something like that.
I could be, yes. For French, it would be Robert.
Yes, I would be Arik. Spell it with a QU or something.
Yeah. Hey, Brennan, you want to go down to Coalition HQ for a minute?
Sure, that's a channel, is it?
Yep. Should be a couple down.
Oh, they're already separating out and talking secretively.
No. Brennan's having difficulties signing into the Vassal module, so
Oh,
I'm
I
not
see.
sure what's up.
He's trying to download the newer version of it or something.
Okay. Well, we got a couple of our friends out in the wider universe watching us. So, of course, we got Stigler. Thanks, Stigler. Fresh off the grueling Waterloo Slugfest at the Buckeye Game Fest and diving into Austerlitz. Man, you are dedicated. Yes, we are dedicated. So, Brennan was playing at that one. David Plock was playing at that one. David McGarney was playing at that one. So was I. So we got four people who had just couldn't get enough La Bataille. We have to sign up for more. Alistair Logie says, I'm a Labatt man. There you go. As opposed to Batman, a La Batman. We've got Tim Greenhaw saying, hey, y'all. The Stigler is the man in the racing cap. Yes, that's me. That's part of my branding, Stigler. All right, E4 Airman says, what a lot of luck involved in Nap victory or all genius. I don't know. I've actually never played the full battle. I've played a few little scenarios of this, and I was there at the play testing at Tempe for the whole of 2 turns before Ed Wimble got Napoleon captured. So, yeah. David, you actually played...
Yep.
You were Marshal Davout, I think, at that one. So you actually played a few more turns of it than I did. I just
a little later.
yeah, I showed up like on the 3rd day or something like that, just in time for it. all to
Ed
go to
Wimble got Napoleon captured.
pieces. Ed Wimble got Napoleon captured. Yes,
Happened more than once, hasn't it?
it was really close, but he's had a few close calls. But Austerlitz, he actually managed to get him captured, and he had moved him to like stack him with some unit to recover its morale, and then he put another leader on top, and he lost track of where Napoleon was. And then it was a cavalry unit that he'd rallied. So then he sends the cavalry unit out to do a charge or something, and then realizes after the fact that Napoleon was stacked there. And as soon as the other guys realized that, it was just like from all over the battlefield, as far as you could find people, they just came and surrounded this poor little unit. and
Yeah.
and it was toast. So
Oh.
I think he's willing to pay big money to get this out of our collective memory too. So
well, it's one of those things that I know that the guys at Marshal Enterprises have never forgotten it. They're fond of reminding him every time. But apparently, it wasn't the first time that that had happened. He had a couple of close calls before, for I think a similar reason. Let's see here.
Very nice. He was very apologetic for the game ending early.
Yeah. I was like, can't we keep playing anyway? We'll just call it somebody else's wars.
Yeah.
It won't be the Napoleonic Wars. It'll be, who's his successor? The Bernadotte Wars or something like that. So let's see. William Orenz from Kitchener, Ontario says, interesting that you are changing from Napoleonic desperation to the time of Napoleonic glory at Austerlitz. Yes, well, it's mostly because this Vassal module is relatively new, and it's a really nice looking module. So Jeff Taylor says, good evening. Hi, Jeff. Hope you can find someone. Jeff is looking for someone to play a either play by email or play in real time Battle of Quatre Bras. And so if you're interested, he posted something on the La Bataille Discord server. And if you haven't already joined the La Bataille Facebook page, you can hop over there and track him down. And hopefully he will be able to find a partner to play a game with. George James says, hello, where did you get this Austerlitz 1815 module for Vassal? So that's a great question. It is posted on Limey Yank Games. So if you go to the Limey Yank website and look up Vassal and then look up Austerlitz, it's this particular one is called Austerlitz 1805. There's an older one that's just Austerlitz, and it's terrible. It was made who knows how many hundred years ago. It's really not very good. So this one's really nice. Steve Takis, who lives here in Southern California, had put together the module, and I think he's done a few others. So this is a really, really nice looking one. Jeff Taylor says, getting Napoleon captures seems like it would be bad. Yes, generally speaking, it is a bad thing to do. Jeff says, I did find someone who lives in the UK. Okay, excellent. I'm glad that you were able to connect with a player. Stigler says, someone should get this posted to the Vassal Engine site. I don't know how that works. I presume whoever is the author would normally post it wherever they're going to post it. So maybe Stigler, you and I can communicate at some point in time and find out how that works. Maybe I can send a note to Steve and see if he could post it there. All right. Did we get everybody in the system? 1, 2,
Yes,
3,
we
4,
got-
5, 6.
We got Brennan in, so.
Okay, well, cool. Then what I will do is, let's see if I can lock the room. Okay. So we won't have anybody else coming in. I know we had somebody who was there, but he was just there to watch. Without knowing anything, we don't want stuff to get moved around by somebody else inadvertently. So if you want to watch the game, you can watch it here on the live stream, and I hope that is sufficient for most people. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and figure out what we are doing, guys. So I have not had the chance to kind of look at things too much, nor communicate with my teammates at all about the present situation. So I thought it would be worthwhile for us to discuss the setup and the victory conditions. Hopefully you people were able to find the information about the game, terrain, movements, all that charts and everything else from the labataille.me website.
And it looks like the charts, they have a set of the premier charts in there. I didn't check the fire and melee to see if they're the most recent ones, but
Well, we can find out here real quick.
They are actually.
Yeah, because it's the melee matrix that people sometimes get wrong. Yeah, so this is the dated one. The melee matrix that's here in the Vassal module is the one that came with the original game, which no longer matches the current rules from that. So I can email out an updated. I mean, I know David, you've got an updated copy since we were playing using the melee matrix from Lenny. Robert, I know you've got one as well. So I will try to send one to everybody else because this one's not up to date. I don't think the fire tables have changed at all. The fire tables look like they're all the same. It's just the melee matrix is different. So, all right, cool. All right, so we do have those charts up there.
Talking to Steve, you might have him update that melee matrix in here.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is that they've made changes to the melee matrix, at least a few.
Wait, hold on.
Over the time, so
there's a box to click that says Premiere, and it
Yep.
looks like it has all the correct ones.
It does not have the correct melee chart.
Oh, the correct melee chart. Okay.
Yeah. So the melee chart on the one side is correct, but the matrix that's on the side that says check number 2 or look at number 11 or whatever, that's not correct. It's not current with the current rules. It's fine with the rules that came with the game back in 2016, but they've made some updates to the rules since then.
Okay.
Yeah. So we would use the same charts that I'd emailed you a few months back when we were playing Aspern Esling and Lenny. It's those same charts are the updated melee matrix chart. All right. Is everybody else in the channel here? Okay. Cool. All right. So, what should we do protocol-wise? I presume that David, you and Brennan and Mr. Plock have had a chance to chat a little bit.
I chatted with Mr. Plock earlier. I mean, I just got back from travels
Okay.
yesterday, so I haven't had time to do a lot with relearning the Premier rules. But I've done a little bit of dabbling around this afternoon. So.
Okay. Well, no worries. I will introduce some of the other people. So Keith Powell is on the French team. Keith, why don't you introduce yourself to the gang? I hope
Keith, you're muted if you're trying to tell it.
I'm sorry about that. I'm Keith, and I've been playing with Eric on Wednesdays for several months now. He's been introducing me to La Bataille and playing the Premier rules, and so I'm a couple notches up from a complete noob in terms of knowing what I'm doing. So forward we go into the fog.
Indeed. And then I know Brennan, you're kind of new to the group as well, although some of us met you last week at the Buckeye. Do you want to introduce yourself to the gang?
Sure. Hey, folks. My name is Brennan Close. I've been playing La Bataille one way and another since 1987. It's a great series. I love the historical depth. I also love looking at the different games and like analyzing the different national sides and trying to come up with interesting tactical systems that are, customized for each of the different national systems. This Austerlitz module is really cool. It seems to have a gigantic battlefield, which offers all kinds of opportunity for maneuver as well as just straight on combat, which is really neat. Eric and I met out at the Tempe face-to-face in August, and then we played just last week at Buckeye, which is really fun.
Yeah. Good. And then, Brennan, is this your first time playing Vassal, or have you done many Vassal games before?
We've done a lot with Vassal log files, but never played it online.
Okay. So you're new to the Discord server and all that jazz, too.
Yeah, I've done a little bit of like Dungeons and Dragons and stuff on Discord, but never with Vassal.
Okay, well, cool. Well, I hope that it's pretty easy to figure out, and you've got David on, Mr. Plock, I should say, Plock on your team, and he's an old pro at Discord and everything else, so he should be able to help you out. And then Mr. Minure, David Minure, do you want to introduce yourself to the group?
Well, I first played Labatt probably in the late 70s. Smattering of it in the 80s, more in the 90s, and more over the last 15 years. Probably, well, not 15, but probably I played with one opponent, the same opponent, and we play every Saturday, 3 out of every 4 Saturdays a month, and we would play, a few turns, and almost every game that's been published, I've played at least once or twice. I've more experience with the Marie-Louise rules than with this particular Premier rule set, but I have played Premier before. Last time was with Eric and the ME guys a couple years ago. The first Tempe convention that occurred after COVID. So.
Right. What we were playing? We were playing Berlin.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah. So I think what were you at? You and I were playing Denowitz.
We
were the French at Denowitz, and we were up against, I think, Monty and Dennis.
It put a little bit of pressure on Mr. Spores, that's for sure.
We did have a little fun there with them. That was a good match. Yeah, I think that's the last time that I was at the table with you. So, well, cool. And then Robert, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
My name is Rob Bond, and Eric and I have been playing La Bataille since the 80s, I think.
Yeah, 84, our first game, I think.
84. Yeah, and we've had a heck of a lot of fun with this game system.
It's one of the few that we remember the rules to. Which is why we kept coming back to it. Like, well, we got a couple hours to play something. Okay, what can we play? I don't know. Can you remember the rules to anything? La Bataille. Okay, let's play La Bataille. So.
Yep, that's it.
All right.
Then you things that you've been doing wrong or you've misinterpreted.
Oh my gosh. I think the first time we played, we didn't realize that the regimental counters and the battalion counters can't be on at the same time. So we're like, the army is huge. Look, I got this 15-point regiment, and I got these 3, 5, increment. We had no clue what we were doing.
Big assault column.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And then we're like, oh, well, maybe we're not supposed to use these. So. Yeah, but that was one of the first big mistakes we made was that. So we've gotten somewhat better. In fact, one of the reasons I went to the first conference there at Tempe was to, like, when I heard the Ed Wimble and the Marshal guys were there, I'm like, I'm going to go and watch them play, so that way I'm sure I'm doing it the right way. And so I went, and of course I got some stories where that they sometimes, well, as you saw, they'll be asking me questions about the rules. So because I'm playing, now Jim is playing it almost every week with me, but for a long time they would only play the game once a year, and here I'm playing it more frequently. So I've got a better sense of the rules, but there's still some things that need some interpretation here and there, some clarity that could go a long way. All right, I think everybody knows everybody. I know everybody knows me, which is
Eric,
convenient. Yes.
When with the fire chart and the melee chart, I want to just be certain because I'm on the same page, because they would be the fire chart 1806 revision 1, and the melee hand chart update 9418, or is that wrong? I'm looking at the Marshal's.
Oh, on the Marshal Enterprise one? Yeah,
I've been trying to, because I can't find the folder now. I put the other stuff in.
Okay, give me a second and let me see if I can find. I had asked them to. I told Jim that the charts that they had for melee were out of date. That was a few months ago, so I don't know if they've updated it or not. Let's see here.
Okay.
Otherwise,
I
I
put
can.
in-
Yeah. Otherwise, I can
Put in
email
the
everybody.
YouTube chat. I offered to put the revised melee chart into the module
Oh.
if somebody can get it to me, and then take the result and upload that to Vassal.
Okay. Oh, that would be cool.
Where it says Premiere, that would be great.
Yeah. Yeah.
If
I'm
we could
looking
do
at
that,
here.
that would make life so simple.
So let's see the melee chart 2018. Well,
That's kind of old.
yeah.
So you need-
Yeah. Well, it looks a little bit better. I'd have to go through it carefully. Nope, it's out of date. It's still the older one. Okay. No worries. I will email everybody the latest from Heilsberg, which is
Because I look at the Heilsberg downloads and they don't include that.
yeah,
I
no,
look-
they don't. So I will email everybody that. I don't know that we're going to have any combat tonight anyway, since we kind of work on getting stuff set up. So yeah, I thought what would be worthwhile, and you guys can correct me if you're wrong, is to kind of just read through the victory conditions and kind of get a sense of where things are supposed to be. It looks like, as I recall, and as I said, I've never played this, but it looks like here with the victory conditions, it looks like there are points that are awarded to the coalition player for capturing various and sundry objectives before the 11 o'clock turn. So these are a number of different geographic locations on the map. So Telnitz and Sokolnitz and the castle and the pheasantry, they're down on the southern, I guess the southwestern part of the map. Koblenz and Puntauskwitz are kind of in the center part of it. Santon is up by the French, the main road that runs to Brunn, I think, and Austerlitz. Bosnitz, Siwitz, I'm not sure where that is, and Jurwitz. And then exiting.
Eric, Sivitz is in the northeast or the upper right corner of the map,
Okay.
and Bozenitz is next to it, and Yurzikovich is somewhat southwest of.
Okay. So, or exit 15 increments of the map, off the map, on the route to Brunn. That's 5 points. So you're getting points for those different geographic locations. And should the coalition occupy any of these objectives by the end of the 11 o'clock turn, they are awarded the points. The coalition need not hold the objective through the 11 o'clock turn, just occupy it once. So now the question is, does it define what occupying is? Occupy,
Actually, it does a
hold,
little.
yeah, it does. Yeah, hold all hexes of the position or place. Okay, so just capturing one hex of, the pheasantry doesn't count. You basically have to clear everybody out of it. Okay.
Also, just for a little historical commentary for interest, what Napoleon had done is he had pretended through diplomacy in a truce a couple days before the battle that his army was very weak and he was thinking of retreating to Paris. What he was actually doing was baiting the Allied army into attacking aggressively to the Allied left, which is towards the objectives that we started with, which is Telnitz, Sokolnitz, pheasantry. And so the Allies took that bait and they launched a big attack down at those objectives. And there was a lot of heavy fighting, but what Napoleon was really planning to do was drive up the center and his left, which he then did, and he hooked around them and surrounded them.
Right.
knock them off.
Right.
So the historical battle goes all to the left. The other objectives are there because they're ahistorical, but they're very interesting for the game.
Okay. Well, interesting. Have you played Austerlitz before?
I've run through this module probably 10 times solitaire.
Wow. Okay. So you're ahead of all the rest of us. Well, we'll just refer to you then. Yeah.
From a game point of view,
whose side are you on?
From a game point of view, if the Allies are interested, they can try that historical attack to the left, only like more intensively, or they can pick different objectives that they did not do historically, but now you can do them in game terms. You can pick any of the objectives and try to take a few of them. So it's a very interesting game.
Okay, well, cool. So you're not forced, you're not shoehorned into making that historical attack if you don't want to.
That's right, but you do have to attack somewhere.
Yeah.
That's kind of the object of warfare.
Well, but if you think about it, if the coalition just sits up on the hill, right? They've got a good position up there on the Pratzen Heights, and so by having these objectives, you're kind of forcing people down.
You're forcing them forward.
You're forcing them to come down and attack, even if they might not want to have done that. All right, and then the coalition is awarded points when the French are put on a morale level. So if the Guard Division, Unado's Division, Bernadotte's Corps, Sol's Corps, Lannes Corps, or the 2nd Division of Friant. And of course, eliminate the Guard Band. That is a huge objective. I'm betting that Dennis Spores added that one to the list there. That's the sort of thing that he would do.
Give me control of that.
Yeah, exactly. We've lost our ability to whistle. So then they'd get points for that, and then the Grand Army gets points for putting the coalition forces on a level. It looks like. And then they have points for a couple of these places too. So Pratzen, I know where that is. Postoritz, I'm not sure where that is.
That's in the far southeast or far right, lower right corner.
And
that's a French attack.
Okay. Auxid is kind of opposite Sokolnitz, I think. It's further to the east, right?
Over on
it's
the
like
left.
lower left.
Yeah. And Blasowitz,
center.
Kind of in the center.
Front.
Okay. And then, or march 15 increments off the map on the road to Austerlitz. If the Tsar is killed or captured, the French receive an additional 5 points. If the Kaiser Franz is killed or captured, the French get 3 points. If Napoleon is killed or captured, the coalition wins decisively. And at the conclusion of the game, all the French points are tallied and the coalition points are subtracted from that total. Victory is determined. And then basically, the French want to have a whole lot more points than the Allies. A draw is where the net points is 10, and then anything with lower than that, the coalition wins. So, any questions about the victory conditions?
I'd just like to point out the way I read this here, it looks like the for the levels on the Russians, that those are only calculated at the end of the game. So if there are anything that's on level 1, you get 1.4. Level 2, you get 2 points for, and on level 3, 4.4. Whereas the coalition are awarded 2 points each morale level reached.
Right. So if the French go, so say the Lannes Corps goes on level 1 at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you would get 2 points, even though at the end of the game they're back to level 0. So it's a case where I think the general expectation is that the Allies will be in worse shape at the end, but I don't know. as I said.
Don't count on it.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't count on it, but just given the way the point stuff is, it looks like the expectation is kind of tilted towards giving the allies the benefit of the doubt, as far as for getting on levels and whatnot. But I think generally speaking, the allies have smaller size forces, so it's usually easier to put them on a level, because they're just sort of set up by division or column.
There's actually a whole table of that, I believe, on page. Where is it?
Well, on page 10, I have. It's got everything, the breakdown for everything. So, first column's got 20 battalions. Second column's got 17. Third column's got 18. So yeah, so there's a few that are on the smaller side. So, all right.
Did they put that chart in? Let's see if they put that chart in the module.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking right now for. But these are either for the regs or Marie Louise.
No, they've got it. It's on. If you look under the Premier and you look at morale levels, mod charts, it's got them there. Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. So that's the same. You can either print it from the website or it's there. So kind of gives you
a little commentary for what this all does for the flow of the battle. Is it's quite interesting because there's both a terrain component and a combat component. So you can put your victory together out of some piece of terrain and then fighting better than the opponent. Is kind of how it works. You need both.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, if somebody can upload that melee chart into the La Bataille series lobby on Discord, then I can get to work swapping it out.
Okay.
In the module.
I will probably be able to upload that, not today, not right now, but like maybe later tonight or tomorrow.
Well, let me look around. I may have it here.
Yeah, if you got a digital copy, I don't know where mine is, because it's probably on a data stick somewhere since I scanned it. All right.
I did a little PowerPoint map that shows the whole map of the game with the different victory point locations on it. Would it be useful if I share that now?
Oh, that would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Did that show up okay?
Yep, I can see it. You've got little stars. I guess the green stars must be the ones for the
Yeah, I pulled up your PowerPoint. It's really cool.
For the Russians. The blue stars are the ones for the French.
That's right.
Okay.
So what it's showing you is what the Allies are trying to do is to go and take early in the game a few, one or a few of these, and they're scattered all across the map. They're like, they go from here all the way over to there. And they have different values. And what the French are trying to do is, by the end of the game, reach enough of these to swing the game in their favor.
Right, yeah, because it looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots for the French, and they all have, generally speaking, higher point values. Cool. Yeah, no, that's a cool map. You just took that from the.
It was so hard to get it from the text that I was like, I got to see this graphically, so I put it on that.
No, it's really good.
Yeah, I did not have a chance to look at your PowerPoint stuff. I wanted to try to get to that, but
just for interest, like here's an example of what you can do, for the different sides. So the French can, if they want, like they can consolidate their army and launch attack. This is approximately historical.
Right.
At the 12 p.m. turn, those assaults there.
Yeah, you
Exactly.
get to that spot more or less if stuff is moving across that way.
Like it takes approximately that long to reach those places, and this is approximately historically what happened. And then this is approximately historically what the Allies did. They had this big left swing because they were trying to get into the Telnets, Sokolnets, pheasantry objectives.
Yeah.
This isn't purely historical, but it's approximately historical. So.
Right.
Yeah. So, and then if you, that's just to give people an idea of what happened.
Right. Cool.
Yep. All right.
This is really good.
And I think I mailed that around to most people.
Yeah, I did get a copy of it. I didn't have a chance to take a look at it. So, all right. Well, I think what it says in the rules is that the Allies set up first, and then the French set up second, and so maybe while you guys are setting your stuff up, or kind of. So the other thing is that they've got ammunition wagons here on the map. I know we, generally speaking, do not use ammunition wagons. So are we going to ditch the ammunition wagons?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
Yeah, Alan, I just put a copy of the melee chart matrix in the lobby.
Thank you.
All right. So we can French. We can retire to the French HQ in the Discord server, unless there's anything else that needs to be discussed.
So the counters on the map right now are basically where we're setting up.
They're kind of approximate, but you see that they're like it's the regimental presentation instead of
So
the
we'll have to pull
battalion.
Okay.
Yeah. Plus, we need to discuss who's going to be where.
It looks like there's units that are like cavalry in general order terrain that are facing the vertex as opposed to the X side.
Yeah, they just plunked everything down, so things need to get sort of turned around.
But they're positioned in according to what they've got in the rule book.
Right.
Principles.
In the rule book, they have these terrain boxes.
Yeah.
That gives you a bit of a zone, and they're within that zone. But you don't have to put them exactly where they start. Another thing that's a little bit mildly annoying in this particular Vassal module is it's not set up to permit a deployment on a hex side, so that if you create a 2-hex line or a 2-hex skirmish formation, you have to use the extended line counters because you can't put it on the hex side. Like in some Vassal modules.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you're right. Huh,
it's like a little primitive. But it's worth it, because the module's so cool.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good to know. Yeah, because we're used to that with some of the other modules we've played on, where you can straddle the hex, between 2 hexes.
Yeah.
So.
Maybe it would be worth going briefly through some of the national characteristics. So the French have 2 special ability artillery leaders.
Okay.
Which is Napoleon and Saint-Gis. And then the Allies have 1 superior, special ability artillery leader, which is the Russian artillery commander Muller Zach.
I do have a question on the artillery units. When you hover over them, they seem to have an extra little counter, but I don't see that. Well, I guess it is a counter underneath there. What are those?
That looks like the ammunition.
Yeah.
Well, they've got the ammunition wagons behind them.
Right. But so when we were playing at Moscow, we used that little counter to keep track of how much ammunition was underneath it. It doesn't look like it's under all the units.
Yeah, it's not under all of them. But now we're not using that,
No,
right?
we're in Premier rules. There's no ricochet. There's no ammunition.
Oh yeah, I see those. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
we
so
would
we need
just
to
you would just remove those as well as the wagons.
Question: did whoever placed the melee chart
Yes.
place it in the lobby of the La Bataille or in the lobby of Discord in general?
It's in the
I'm not seeing
Discord
it.
lobby.
No. Put it in the lobby
Oh.
of La Bataille, where we are
Yeah,
all now.
that's where it is. I see your message right above it in the chat.
Wonder why it's not showing up for me.
Do I have to modify attachments, spoiler attachments? Is that there?
There it
Okay,
is.
I
I
had
see
to
it.
hit.
Thank
I had
you.
to hit return. Sorry.
There you go. That's all right. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. All right. So yeah. So
And then there's a couple of other kind of somewhat unusual national capabilities, which are that the Russian dragoons can skirmish like skirmish infantry. They're not like skirmish cavalry, they're not like dismounted dragoons like line infantry. You actually flip them over, and they have a ×2 firepower factor, which is kind of unusual.
Okay.
You can read through the special rule, and then there's some different types of terrain. Like the pheasantry is really unique, and there's the vineyard, which there's vineyards in different places, like over by Telnitz, and then kind of central. There's different vineyards that are like they're basically like orchards or rough terrain, general order terrain.
Yeah. They're particularly problematic for marching through, as I recall.
Yeah. And I think they block line of sight also.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the Cossacks, they've got particulars about that. They've got the Russian Jaegers, don't deploy in general order in the town, but they deploy in skirmish only.
Bagration, who commands the Russian advance guard, has this rule about using hidden units for 10 counters. You can pick any 10 counters, you get like 10 false units, and they actually have presence.
Right, yeah, they can move and they can fire, even though they don't. May just be a phantom counter. Do we have counters on actual those markers available, or
in the marker zone, like under I think it says where the PGD counter is, it like lets you choose unit markers.
okay?
And there's a
Obscured?
false unit marker.
False unit. Okay.
That's a good one to use.
So how do we know? So if we put it on the map, and it doesn't look like we can flip it. So
Right,
you would
you
then
can
stack
put it
something over the
under it.
top of it?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, but if you hover over it, it still shows what's underneath it.
So another way to do it would be to just like use it like Schrodinger's cat. And it's like there's 10 of them and nobody knows if there's a unit there or not. You just, because it has a presence, and then you roll a die and 50% chance that one of your 5 hidden units appears there. And if you fail, if it's not the 50, then it's empty.
Okay, all right. Well, that's probably a better way to go since it doesn't look like. So with the actual printed game, it's got the markers on the front all look the same, and on the back it actually tells you whether it's a false one or which unit it actually corresponds to. But it doesn't look like they've got that here, unless it's on the Russian order of battle. I don't see it over here. Yeah, no. Okay, well, then probably we'll just have to say we'll just use the false unit markers and then when whatever happens that would normally cause one of the markers to be revealed, then, as you said, you'll just randomly roll to see if it's one of the real ones or not. So, does that make sense?
Oh, I'm sure it is once we get down. Once we get down to it.
All right. So, is there anything else we need to discuss before we kind of figure out what we're going to do?
Quick question on the preferences. When somebody is in a different section of the map, sometimes you're in another, it'll drag you over to where they are.
Okay, under File, go to Preferences up in the upper left. And about halfway down the Preferences, you'll see a little thing that says Center on Opponent.
Yeah, that's right. I thought that's what that is.
Uncheck that.
Just uncheck it.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, and I had to do that too because it's a new module and it doesn't remember my previous preferences. So, okay, well, good. And then we should be able to hopefully do things where we'll have, we'll have someone commanding the French center, someone commanding the French right, someone the French left, and then I imagine you guys will have something similar on the Allied side.
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, then why don't we go to the French headquarters, and you guys can start moving stuff around, and then I can talk with.
I have removed all the coalition artillery trains and the extra little
ammo markers. Okay, yeah. Cool.
So those should be all set up by now.
Doot doot.
All right.
Oh, we need to get Keith to come down and join us. All right, here we go. Hey, Keith. Hello, can everyone hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm here.
Okay, cool. All right, so you guys had a chance to see a little bit with where things are on the map. A lot of the initial objectives for the Allies are there on the sort of the southwestern part of the map, Telnitz, Sokolnitz, etc. And so that I would think that might be one of their places that they would go. And so if you're down at that part of the world, you've got some elements of Sol's Corps, and then you've got some of the stuff that's coming in from Davout over in the far corner.
Wait. I'm confused. So we're not down in the south of the map. We're at the top of the map, right?
We're at the top of the map, which happens to be the western end of the map. So if we're thinking about it, let's just go top, left, and right instead of using the compass points.
Yeah, let's use 3rd Corps, 4th Corps.
Yeah. So so the over on the sort of top to mid leftmost part of the map, you've got Telnitz, Sokolnitz, the Chateau, the Pheasantry, Koblenz, and let's see, what's the other one? Puntalwitz. These are some of the primary objectives of the Allies. Then let's see. I think we've got.
And we okay. Hold on.
Yeah.
I gotta zoom in. Hold on. Okay, so we have units. Okay, so that's where the 4th Corps is right now. Like Sokolnitz, the Pheasantry is the 4th Corps.
Yep. So those are elements of Marshal So's Corps, who's the 4th Corps. He's got most of that stuff, and you look there between Koblenz, Klobenitz, and Panautzwitz. You've got St. Hilaire's division, And then a little further to the right, you've got Von Dom's division. So that's kind of the bulk of Soul's core. Yeah, the fourth corps. Up in the uppermost, left-hand corner, you've got elements of Davout's corps that are coming on.
They're not on only the light cavalry.
Well, I don't know, because it says they come on at 8 o'clock, and we start at the 8 o'clock turn. But then it also says something about 9 o'clock, so I'm not sure if it's 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock for the arrival. So we'll have to kind of parse through that and figure it out. But yeah, so you've got some stuff that's kind of stretched out over there on that part of the world. And they've got, it looks like just some Grenzers, it looks like. Yeah, not anything to write home about.
Oh, so there's more Fourth Corps light cavalry up at the top. Oh, I see. Okay, now I see where Friant and everything is over there. That's
right. And so he's Third Corps, right? So that's the Third Corps stuff.
Okay, so I see the Third Corps stuff.
Yeah.
And then we have that stuff there down at Telnitz, and then he has stuff coming up through some infantry. Okay. So they got stuff on Telnitz, the light artillery.
Right, they've got some stuff that's not too far from Telnitz. Basically, stuff that can skirmish. It looks like. So that's kind of what they've got out at that part of the world, and then back at Augzed, looks like they've got some more light cavalry, and then further to the right, that's then where they've got the bulk of their sort of heavy Russian infantry.
So the top of the map is the west. Oh wait, I see it.
Yeah, the top of the map is the west, and the sort of the leftmost part of the map is the south. The bottom of the map is the east, if we want to look at it that way. So we've got as far as forces, we've got Soul's corps, Davout's corps, or portions of it. We don't have all of it. You've got Bernado's corps, which is the first corps. And then you've got Lannes corps, which is that's the fifth corps. That's over by Santon. That's over there along the road.
Okay.
So
what is that stuff all the way over to the right that says AG on it? 616? Oh, that must be his stuff.
Oh yeah. That's a bunch of Cossacks. That's the avant-garde.
Oh, they're pretty crappy, aren't they?
A whiff of gunpowder usually sends them flying.
That's fine. Okay.
Yeah. So
a bunch of Cossacks. I think that implies low quality, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Always.
It's a mobile mob.
Mobile mob.
They're looking.
Flash mob, an early flash mob.
There you go.
All right. So, Keith, do you have any preferences for where you would like to play?
Well, we talked a little bit. Maybe looking at was it the Fifth Corps?
Okay.
The far.
Okay, they're around Santon.
Far right.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, and I think.
But I'm flexible wherever. Since I'm clearly the newest to the system, put me where you like me.
Yeah. So you would have. It looks like you'd have Caffarelli and it looks like the 3rd Division of the 5th Corps would be there. It looks like there's a bunch of cavalry over there too, and we'll just have to see where else some of that stuff can go. God, our dragoons are hardly anything at all. 2 factors, 3 factors. I guess we couldn't find enough mounts for them. At least our light cavalry is decent, but
We've got some good all that reserve cavalry up there too.
Yeah, yeah. So I would imagine if you're playing down on the left side of the map, it's going to be a lot of defensive stuff, trying to hold those objectives while they're pushing towards those places which are rather lightly held at the beginning of the day. Then there's the center, which is here by Puntowitz. And I know that portions of the First Corps come in kind of between that and the road.
Yeah, I see
they're
them
over
up
there.
at the top.
Yeah. So, what? So, Robert, how do you feel about either having the center or holding those villages and defending there on the left wing, or I guess the left side of the map, the right wing for the French?
Yeah, they're right. So if you're playing the Fourth Corps and defending all those villages, then you're going to also bring in the Third Corps.
Yeah. So if say for example, if we were going to divide things up and we'd say, okay, Koblenitz. So if we were to go from the edge of the map to Koblenitz, that's one sector, and then from Koblenitz over to say Blasowitz, that might be another sector.
Wait, where's Koblenitz? That's up at the top.
No, it's so Koblenitz is. I'll flash it for you.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah.
No, I see it. Yeah.
So that's there, and then
Fourth Corps.
we've got Blasowitz is over here. So if we're going to say, okay, the center is kind of between those two places, and it's kind of opposite then Pratzen, then anything that's, kind of further to the right, that's going to be the French left wing. That's going to be Lannes Corps and Caffarelli's division. And Napoleon. Don't lose Napoleon, Keith.
Oh, Keith's in charge of the guard.
Challenge me.
Yeah.
There's no guard. Where's the guard?
The guard
guard's
come
coming
in as reinforcements.
So keep Napoleon and staff back until the guard, and then okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I have no.
Hold my wine.
So what do you want to try to do? If you're going to be in the center, then you might have to be sending troops to one side or the other to help out, or pushing, seeing where the Allies go, and then trying to counter it depending on which direction they decide to go. Or you can work on holding those villages and waiting for Davout marching Davout up as fast as you can.
Yeah, the question is if I play the Fourth Corps, I would be marching down on Telnitz and Solkonitz, and would I be just holding that, or would I be trying to?
Yeah, so the bulk of the Fourth Corps, it's Vendôme and Saint Hilaire's divisions, which are here by Puntauskowitz, right? So if you're going to be moving those, then it's a case of, and I think when they had divided it up when they had played this, David McGirney was playing Davout, and then he was also playing these units that are out here in this village area that were waiting for Davout to come and rescue them. And then there was another fellow who was playing these two divisions of the Fourth Corps, Vendôme and Saint Hilaire's divisions, because I ended up inheriting them when he stepped away from and left the game. And then there's stuff that's Bernado's Corps that's coming in, and so it's a question of where we send that. So
So according to I'm looking at the PowerPoint because that makes the most sense.
Okay.
The first corps, well, everybody is basically heading to the right. So you have the light cavalry and the 5th Corps holding like around where the advanced guard is, and then everybody else is moving toward the right to
Okay.
attack and then the Davout is moving a lot of his stuff just straight down, and then they're gathering there to do an assault on the center
Okay.
toward the 2nd and 3rd columns. So I don't know. I think I don't mind what I could play the first, or try to defend the villages. You decide. The whole last game was me defending villages.
Well, that's why I was asking what you wanted to do. If you were comfortable doing that, or if you wanted to do something else.
Sure, but though my other question is, with the 4th Corps and the 3rd Corps, are we playing timed?
Well, that's the other thing we need to chat with everybody to find out, because it's the timed movement suggested is 10 minutes for the French, 8 minutes for the Allies.
Okay.
So we'd have a little bit more time than they would. And there's another optional rule that we need to discuss as well. But okay, so Keith, you've got the that section there by Santon.
Okay.
So it's up to you, Eric. What you?
I'll take the center. I'll take the center, and that way then I can send help one way or the other.
So you'll take the 1st Corps, and then you'll also take the Imperial Guard? Because they come in on the center.
Yeah, I can do that. And then I can help you with Vendôme. I can help you with some of the other divisions down here, since the 1st Corps not got a whole lot going on right off the bat.
Okay, so you'll move part of the 4th Corps there over toward the center.
Yeah, I'll take Vendôme's corps, which is this one here. I mean, his division.
Near Puntovitz.
Yep.
Okay, and so then I'll take Saint Hilaire and the other stuff over. Okay.
Yep.
And over toward Telnitz. Now, is this correct that we're just having these regiments out?
No. So what we can do is we can set them up anywhere, in this. So here, this unit here, for example, can break down into 2 battalions, and we can place it anywhere around here we want to. And there's a battalion here, and there's a battalion there. There's stuff over here.
I didn't even see the golden-looking battalion. That's kind of cool. What the heck is that thing?
That's the. I think it's the.
Yours.
Yeah, they're a really good skirmish unit.
And then I don't know how I got to reread the rules. I forgot what the pheasantry does.
It's a great place to be in Trillier order.
Okay.
Just put it that way. It's really unpleasant terrain for anybody else.
Oh, I got some Italians there. That's cute.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I think I understand. So I will hold Telnitz over through the pheasantry and up to Koblenz, and I have Saint Hilaire there.
Yep, he can come and help you out. Yep, and then I'll have Vendôme.
You'll take Puntowitz over.
Yep.
To
Jurwitsky, Blazowitz. So I'll take between Puntowitz and Jerzikowitz over here.
Okay, why couldn't they just name everything like Allentown?
Watch your language.
All right. So,
and then when it comes to, I will then be responsible for the Davout's third corps coming on.
Yep.
And you'll have control over the reserve cavalry, the Imperial Guard, and the First Corps. And I'm sorry, your name is Keith? Keith?
Yeah.
Okay. Keith then has the other reserve cavalry, Napoleon and staff, the 5th Corps, and the light cavalry.
Yeah. And then I'll try to get you some dragoons. I think there's a division that's supposed to come on down over where Davout is. There's the 4th Dragoon Division supposed to come on there where Davout is, up in the upper left-hand corner. So you'll have that as well.
Okay. Sounds copacetic.
Okay. All right. So I guess what we can do now is, get our pieces on the map where we want them to be, in whatever formation it is that we want them to be.
Now, they have to be close to where they're placed right now?
They should be in that general vicinity. And the other thing is that we get to move first, so we can shuffle stuff around if we need to.
Oh, I thought they moved first. Oh, they set up first.
They set up first,
yeah.
the French move first.
So we got to wait first for them to set up.
Yeah.
Or are they already doing that? I can't even
I don't
tell.
know. I don't see... It doesn't look like they've done anything yet. But I don't know that they've had a powwow or chance to talk either, since David Menuret just got back from a trip. So they're probably doing the same thing, trying to figure out who's going to play which side.
Okay. Well, I can go about deleting artillery wagons, which is a very pleasurable thing.
Are we just actually deleting those?
Yeah, so what you'll do, Keith, is you'll delete the artillery ammunition wagon, and then underneath the some of the units, some of the counters, they've got ammunition. Like so here up here, you see this.
I noticed that was right.
Yeah, so that's if you were going to be counting down, how much ammunition
So those
you
are
had.
going away.
Yep, those are going away too.
Okay.
So is ammo unlimited, or is there another way to suffer ammo depletion?
In the premier rules, no, you're not keeping track of ammunition. You're not keeping track of resupply of ammunition. Uh-oh.
Yeah. God loves casualties.
Yeah. It generally tends to play a little bit faster when you don't have to worry about. And we actually, when we played Mont Saint Jean, in 2019 with Ed Wimble, the way the rules are written, you can check for resupply every turn, as long as you're within a certain distance from a road or a trail. And so, okay, I shot at one or two, and then I roll, and it's instantly resupplied. So we're like, well, that's kind of silly.
Yeah.
Then we said, well, how about you can't roll for resupply until you've used up half of the wagon. So we did that, but even then, there are just so many artillery ammunition wagons that at no point in time did the French ever run out of ammunition. The Allies cannot resupply theirs. So once they shoot all their stuff, then they're done. But what usually happened was their guns would get overrun, and they'd still have wagons with stuff left in it, in which case then another gun would just use it. But yeah, it's very cluttering. It's a big pain in the butt.
Hey, Eric,
Yeah.
Can you see this counter here? That there's a third that's like way out in the middle of nowhere. Is that placed wrong?
This one here?
Yeah, that's the third. Why is it there?
Well, I can take a look real quick and see what the setup.
Yeah, I gotta go in.
Let's see, 3rd Division, Le Grand, Koblenz.
Wow, how do you specify locations without a hex numbers?
So if you take a look at, I've got it up here on the live scan.
I can see within 6 hexes of a specific town like Koblenitz.
Yeah. So what they did was in the rule book, they have they
Yeah, I
have
see
like
it.
pictures where stuff is, and
Yeah.
it's just kind of general. So like
Okay.
you can see where Napoleon is, you can see where Bagration is, kind of stuff. So they have like an insert of a picture of the map, and then it
Yeah.
tells you, okay, for this is where stuff is at.
Okay.
But that is a little random. That there's just that guy floating out there. Well, I
So
can
it
see
says here. Oh, sorry.
That's how Napoleon gets captured, see.
Yeah. The 108th. Yeah. The 108th is there. It's kind of, yeah, I see it there, kind of to
So
the left.
I don't think it's supposed to be there. So it says here the 8 o'clock. The Third Corps comes in with Friant and a Dragoons regiment. Then it says Third Corps enters the map at Davout. Starting with the 8:40 turn, a die is rolled for each regiment. 'Tis required? Kind of, okay. They roll 4, 5, or 6. The regiment enters. With each subsequent turn, a +1 is added to the die roll. The process continues until all regiments have entered.
Sounds like they're kind of straggling on in a forced march or something.
Well, and that's what they were doing. Davout was, I mean, I don't know, he did record time. But he lost a lot of people along the way, which is why they're on the smaller side. So yeah, so it's not very clear because it says 8 o'clock, Third Corps, you've got Davout, you've got his aide-de-camp, you've got the 2nd Division under Friant, and the 1st Dragoon Regiment. And then I'm presuming that the rest of the Corps comes on at 8:40. It's not clear.
There's the next one down below says 8:20.
But that's Suchet. Yeah.
So Suchet should come on, and then you start rolling, I think.
No, but Suchet is not part of Davout's Corps.
Oh, no, it isn't.
So here, it's the 1st Division under Caffarelli. Oh, no,
Okay.
but why is he route to Brunn? Huh. It is not very clear what's happening there. And same thing with the 4th Dragoon Division. Enters the map at 9, but at 8 o'clock. It's got to be a misprint of some sort.
But I think that that infantry unit of the 3rd needs to be just put back up.
No, it's supposed to be there.
Well, where is that? It says
It's on the picture of the setup.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They have it in just a little square that just says
108.
3E.
What page is that on? Scenario maps. I got it.
Yeah.
Scenario 10.
Yeah, so it's scenario 10. So you just have to find the right map. So it's the one that's got Sokolnitz and whatnot on it. Yeah, I think you only have. I mean, the only corps. I mean, because Caffarelli is over there by. Caffarelli's over there on the other side of the map.
Oh yeah, 108th.
Yeah.
That is so bizarre. Okay.
Yeah, so
They're
Friant.
just-
It's
they're-
I think only Friant's division was the only one to make it.
At that time.
Yeah. Yeah, the other part of the 1st Division of the 3rd Corps is over there by Lahn.
By Lon?
Yeah, he's over there by the road to Brunn. That's where that one comes on. Caffarelli comes on over here by Santon Heights.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so you basically just have Friant.
Let me go back here. I'm getting a little confused. Okay. So. Okay.
Are you shuffling
Well,
people around, Keith?
What's that?
Are you shuffling people around?
Well, I'm trying to make sense of what I'm looking at here. I was flipping leaders to see
So
what they do.
So you said the second division of the third corps coming in at Santon.
Yes. No. So Friant. So if you're looking at the order of battle chart,
Okay, yeah. Let me go back to that. 'Cause
right?
Now I'm looking at the maps. Hold on. Scenarios.
Yeah. So if you go to in the Vassal
10.
module. So in the Vassal module, Friant's second corps, they're the ones that are coming on there in the upper left corner of the map. The other division is had been assigned or attached to Marshal Lannes' corps. So even though it's technically the first division of the third corps, for the purpose of this battle, it was attached to Lannes' corps.
Okay, so where is that in the setup?
It's a reinforcement.
So I'm in scenario 10.
Right. So if you look at where are they? Boop, boop, boop. 840. At 840, Caffarelli comes on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, route to Brunn. Okay.
Yep.
And that's the one that we start to roll for, right? Third corps enters the map at Davout, starting at the...
Yeah. This is not the one that we roll for.
Dice roll for each regiment is required. Each subsequent. All regiments have entered. Friant enters with the first regiment. See, that instruction doesn't make any sense.
No, it does not make any sense. I am also confused.
So it must be in the 8 o'clock turn, not the 8:40.
Yes. Yeah, it's got to be the 8 o'clock turn. And it's got to be the same for the 4th Dragoon Division, which comes on at 8 o'clock, and yet it says it's starting at the 9 o'clock turn.
Right. So
so those are the only ones that you're rolling to see, because they're the ones that are racing from Vienna. They're the ones that are forced marching to get there to the battlefield in time.
Okay, so go over that again with me one more time.
Yeah, so it looks like at 8 o'clock, you've got Davout and Friant's divisions are coming on, right? You're going to be rolling for each regiment. So on a 4, 5, or 6, it shows up. And then the next turn at 8:20, a 3, 4, 5, or 6, it'll come on. Right? So at some point in time, they'll all come on. So if you roll well, you might get half of them on, and then the next turn you'll get more of them on, and then presumably you'll get all of them on at some point when it's basically a 1 through 6. You can't fail. They're going to come on.
And then you have the guard coming in at 8:20 with Suchet. Then at 8:40 you have an element of the third corps, but it's coming over on the route to Brunn. That's Caffarelli.
Right. That'll be attached. So Keith will have that one.
Okay.
Yeah. Which one are we talking about here?
The Caffarelli's division. At
Okay.
8:40, they come on the map. They're by the road to Brunn. They're by Stanton.
So essentially, Davout's corps is
Is just
only Sion.
Friant's division.
Oh, that's really exciting.
Yeah.
What? Okay. The rest of it went the other way.
Well, the
You
other
had-
stuff. Well,
You only
no,
had 2 divisions. You only had the.
no, he had a whole bunch more, but they're still marching, and they never got to the battlefield in time.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so he's got who else does he have? He's got Gudin, he's got Morand, but those guys didn't get there in time.
Oh, we just need to put them all on the map anyway.
Yeah, that would be great. We could take them off of a different game. Well, Alan's here. We could have Alan. Alan could create some additional counters for us. So
There you go.
yeah,
Okay. I understand it now. This is a little confusing. Okay, I get it. All right.
Yeah.
So Davout basically is just one division.
yes, it's just that one division of Friant, and then you've got 2 divisions of Soul's Corps, and then depending on how things go, you might get a 3rd division of Soul's Corps if Von Damme comes your way, right? So you've got 3 divisions to work with initially.
And then I also have this light cavalry sitting there.
Yep. And then there's there's dragoons, which are heavy cavalry, but you got to roll for them, starting at 8:00 as well.
Oh, okay. Are they on the map? Is that just the 311?
Nope. That is the stuff that's here. That's the 4th Division of Dragoons. They're here on the order battle chart. And so it looks like you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, 4 regiments. They're very small regiments, and a leader.
But
Yeah.
they're off the map right now.
They're not on the map right now, yeah, and you'd have to roll for them.
Okay.
So, all right.
Okay.
I don't see those guys moving anything around on the map yet. So I guess we can still kind of do a few things on our side. Keith, do you have any questions about what you've got going on?
Oh, I've got hundreds.
All right.
So I'm looking. I'm identifying 5th Corps units, but we've got I'm not sure what. There's the reserve cavalry up.
Right. So there's
units up there with Murat and
Crosshays,
Belliard,
yeah.
and then there's reserve cavalry, horse artillery. That I've kind of moved around. I don't know what's on the board and what isn't on the board at this point.
So right now, what's on the board is everything that's there. What comes on the board is the guard is going to come on the board at 8:20, or at least one division will, right?
Right.
At 8:40, Caffarelli's division is going to come on, and you'll have those. At 9:00, another division of the guard comes on there at the road, or in that vicinity. At 9:00, then the 3rd division comes on. Doesn't say where. I have to look that up. I presume it's in the same general location. Then at 9:40, the heavy cavalry of Nausautet enters, and then the 2nd division of the guard with Drouet comes on a little, I think, closer to the center. And then at 9:40, the Bessières comes on. It looks like 2 batteries of the guard. Horse battery shows up. And then the marching band and the Italian guard artillery. At 10 o'clock, Bernadotte shows up, as does the 2nd Dragoon Division, some more artillery, and then the Imperial Infantry under Hulin. So who are these people? Division G. Oh, that's the 2nd Division. Okay. So Revold. No, 1st Division, but it doesn't say which corps it is. First Division. Caffarelli.
What are the restrictions then on deploying some of these reserve cavalry? And I've got Kellerman up here, and we'll have are they all supposed to be up in this quadrant of the map?
Yeah, that's where looks like they start.
Okay.
So what I might do is take the reserve, that heavy cavalry, and move it a little closer to the center.
Right.
And that way then we can see where it needs to go. You should have enough light cavalry to handle things in that part of the world.
Right, which is that's what I was wondering, was with the reserve cavalry, the heavier stuff, that should probably be going
and
into your area.
Right, yeah, there'll be more heavy cavalry coming on up in that part of the world. Nansute comes on.
So we have to, all these guys, all their orientation, obviously they're in line right now and they're facing the wrong way, so we've got to turn all these boys around.
Correct. Yeah. So
Yeah, I'm starting to replace all the counters with the small ones.
So it looks like they're starting to shake things out. So if you look opposite you, Keith, you see how they've got they're kind of moving the stuff around there in the forest.
Pan out here so they get a better look.
Yeah. So it looks like they're starting to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see them now. Oh, I'm trying to remember from when we were playing the relevant scenario. They don't really have much other than light cavalry. They
got a couple of heavies. Yeah, they had some really nice
looking at.
heavies.
I'm
there.
seeing those now. Yeah.
He's got
Sorta
he's got
on the
a
inside of the
1311
wings.
Dragoon.
An
He's
11.
got that 1110 Cuirassier.
Yeah.
And then there was some stuff further behind that.
Yeah, I see. He's got some stuff down here by. I'm not sure they've done much with that. Now the other thing is, I've got a stack of leaders here.
Right. So this is like
I've
you mean all of this
identified some
stuff
as
here. This is all part of Napoleon's staff.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're
our guys get killed.
Now you go. Someone's rotating some.
Yeah,
batteries.
I was just turning that. That was me. I'm like, oh yeah,
Wow,
okay, those guys.
How did I do that?
Yeah.
Now, when we've played, Eric, we've not really broken down to battalions.
Yeah, actually, we did when we had played. Most of the time, we had stuff. The French had their stuff in battalion presentation. So if you want to break them down, what you do is you go up here at the top of the Vassal module, just I guess a box or so over from where it says Premier, you'll see a box that says La Grande Armée. If you click on that, it's going to open up the table.
I see the order of battle.
Yeah,
right.
and then you can see everything, and then you can take the battalions off, and then you can put the regiments
yeah, right.
on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we did have the battalions on the board.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, I was just
No, that's okay.
really confused at that point. It's much time trying to figure out what all these leaders are. So they're gonna hang with Napoleon then.
Yeah, and we can figure out what to do with them as
Yeah.
time goes by.
I've just been trying to identify them if they're artillery leaders or cavalry and what they're good at, kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, so I'll swap some guys out then. Actually found the unit. Miracle.
It's a miracle.
Man,
it's the Christmas
I don't
miracle.
I don't have a lot on our left right now.
That's the
That's
whole
to the
point.
speed.
That's we're trying to lure them into a false sense of security.
Yeah. Now I got to see about what's these different terrains. Hold on, I got to look at the terrains now. There's no separate terrain chart. Where's the terrain?
Movement and stacking chart, is that it? No. Yeah.
Oh, it's here under. I found it.
Yeah.
Special rules. Counter-facing all things Austerlitz. That's nice. Oh, here it is.
Yeah. But they've got it on the under Premier there, and if you go to movement and stacking charts, it's got it there too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just gotta make it bigger. And then it's blurry. Oh, there it goes. So we have vineyards. Vineyards of those. What are the gray ones then? They look like kind of like wheat fields. Is that an orchard?
Where are you at?
This thing. Like at Telnitz. Are these
Those are
orchards?
yeah, probably.
And this is vineyards?
Well, the vineyards are, you can see they look kind of like little vineyards, like little things propped up.
They just look like a bunch of people who've been crucified.
Yep, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, so this must be like an orchard. But of course it's December, so all the leaves are off the trees. So yeah, so that's an orchard, that's a vineyard, and then the rest are the little village.
But you're gonna go into a Mama and Papa song there.
I know. I was thinking that all the leaves. Okay. I was thinking that too.
All right, so I'm not crazy. Okay.
Nope, you're good.
You're mostly crazy. Mostly crazy.
Well, mostly. I
All
think
right,
I've
so
got
he
my
actually comes on at 9 o'clock.
infantry battalions too.
The pheasantry is one battalion. Where is? Let's see. Where are the special rules for this?
Boy.
Pine forest orchards, pheasantry. There's some kind of crazy thing called the Fassanieri wand, whatever that is. I have no idea.
Oh, that's the wall. That's the wall that goes around the pheasantry.
Oh. Fire defense values. So we check on even. Guard checks on third increment loss. That's the guard. Russians will check with every loss. I like that. Oh, no, not all of it.
Yeah, the Russians check with every loss beginning with the second suffered. That's for their musketeers. Their Jaegers with every even loss, and the Grenadiers with every even loss. The Guard infantry with every third loss. Every loss beginning with a third loss. So once you start to ding away at the the Allies, and of course the Austrians are terrible. They're with every odd loss. They've got a few. The Grenadiers are the Grenzers are every even. Line 6 battalions check every.
Jaegers.
Yeah. Jaegers. Yeah. So generally speaking, the Allies are checking more frequently when they're taking hits.
Yep. So they're in general order. Artillery may be unlimbered in the pheasantry, but it must unlimber outside and then prolong across the wall.
Yep, and once it's in, you can never take it out again.
Well, is it worth putting artillery in there?
Yeah, generally speaking, I'd avoid it if you can.
And there are chateaus in this game. Are they special structures or?
Yeah, so there's only the one chateau, the Schloss. So I think they can only attack you with a certain number of units. You don't make a morale check.
That's probably a good place to put the Poe there.
Well, it would be a good place to put maybe. It could be a place to put somebody.
Well, I don't have anybody else close.
Well, I mean they're a ways away.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Well, we're waiting to set up until they're done, right?
Yeah. So you can kind of shuffle things around a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, I got Saint Hilaire good. And then you got all that stuff. Did you already set up for moving? I see you have everybody.
Yeah, I've already unpacked everybody and just kind of turned them to face a direction.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll do that too.
Yeah.
Seems so easy. Now I know why changing facing costs so much.
Why doesn't Saint Hilaire or anybody have aide de camps and stuff?
Because they're just divisional leaders.
Okay.
So Seoul is over here.
Isn't he in my neighborhood?
He is. I'm going to take him to my neighborhood.
I think you should. I think I'd
Yeah.
set them out because I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
It seemed like they might supposed to be elsewhere.
Well, they're just all stacked there. But you've got somebody is I've got Napoleon. He's a great one. And where's Saugus?
I think he's
Yeah,
going to lead
he's
the
here.
charge.
Yeah, he's a artillery leader of special ability. So he's somebody we want to try to use. He's got a +5. Oh, he's got a +6. He's almost as good as Napoleon.
Yeah, I'd kind of set him off
Yeah.
to the side there. Yeah.
All right. The Hauptpol.
And so all this cavalry up on the top edge of the board, that's where it starts.
Yep. And then there's more stuff that like kind of comes on. I mean, I think
Sure.
you can deploy your guys, around some different ways you want to try to use them.
So he's got one cavalry out there.
Let's see, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You got a lot of light cavalry over there. So I might pull some of that light cavalry away from you at some point in time, Keith.
I fully expect that, Eric.
Yeah, so probably this stuff here. Kellerman. So you've got, what have you got opposite you? One, two, three, 4.
I got to march Davout through this forest.
No, what I would do if I were you is I would march him to the right and then turn the corner. So march him here and then bring him down this way.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So it's going to be faster than trying to march him through the woods. So the idea is you'd bring him towards Sokolnitz kind of thing as quick as you could. Right?
Yeah, I agree.
And then this guy here, he could go into the chateau. Because he'd be good for that, I guess. And then you've got skirmishers. And then you do want to bring up the cavalry.
Yes, but he has some cavalry over there all the way on the left, so I got to move some cavalry over there. Depending on where
Yep.
he moves it. So
He's
some of
got-
that cavalry.
Yeah, he's got one chevaux. He's got a couple of light cavalry over there.
Yeah.
I think he's overstacked with this hex. All right, interesting. Boy, he's got stuff lined up. Okay, well, I'm going to hop over and see how they're doing.
Okay.
Hey guys,
Actually, spread them
hey
with
guys,
the
how
two
are you
X's,
doing?
And then we'll talk about why.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Hey
Yeah,
guys,
We have a visitor.
No, I just wanted to find out how you guys are doing so far.
We're getting our initial setup finished up here, and we'll be probably ready in a few more minutes.
Okay, no worries. I'm we're kind of getting our stuff sorted out too, so we just wanted to see where you're at, so we can, because you guys are supposed to set up first and then we set up second. The other question we had was there were some optional rules that we didn't talk about, so we can figure that out in a minute or two. Okay, talk to you guys in a minute. Bye.
Okay.
All right, they are plugging away, so they should be done shortly.
Did you pick up any good intel?
I did not. I tried to announce myself so that way it would not be obvious.
Okay, fine.
I know. That's terrible of me.
I'm just gonna start clicking on their units and deleting them. So.
Seems reasonable.
I think it's perfectly reasonable. Perfectly reasonable.
Okay, so Eric, so how far do I go past Koblenz, or do I just?
So I would say we should. I wouldn't send too much stuff over to. I mean, you've got this stuff that's here. You could start to move that towards Sokolnitz, and then you could move Saint Hilaire's stuff towards Koblenz. But we just have to kind of see where they go. So the way the battles kind of play out is initially they're on the attack and we're on the defense, and we're waiting for our reinforcements to show up. And then once the reinforcements show up, then we can start to, then we go over on the attack. So initially we're just going to kind of see where they're going to march, and that's going to dictate then what all we need to
Do.
we need to think about or do, and then depending on where that is, then we can dig in or reinforce or set up stuff to try to slow them down or make their lives difficult.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, and I think it takes them a while. They've got a lot of problematic terrain to make their way through.
Mm-hmm. They could attack Telnitz there pretty quickly with what they have there.
Yeah, they could, and so you can, if you don't want to lose those units, they'd be hard for them to try to dig out.
I was just going to put them in the village there.
Yeah, you could put them in the village, and then if the pressure's too much, then you can pull them out and head towards Sokolnitz. If they take Telnitz, okay, it's 2 points, big whoop-de-doo, or it's 3 points, big deal. Losing those units would be more problematic. So it's better if we can save stuff and not end up losing too much, because we don't want to go on a level that's more costly for us.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and then what you can do is I'd say send that light cavalry down towards Sokolnitz, and then we'll see how things go.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it between Telnitz and Sokolnitz.
Okay.
Data analysis shows too many variables.
And then I don't know how much stuff to invest in the pheasantry right away.
Just keep that one unit there in skirmish order, and then you can always stick somebody else over there at some point in time.
Yeah.
I mean,
ones up the village.
Yeah.
So that the pheasantry, that has a mixture of vineyard and forest, I guess, is that?
Well, it's forest and I think orchard or something. It doesn't have any vineyards in it. I think that's like a.
Oh, is that supposed to be orchard?
Yeah, this stuff here.
Mm.
It's not.
Okay.
It's not vineyard.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I see it now.
Yeah, the vineyards look like, as Robert said, looks like a whole bunch of Spartacuses getting crucified.
Yeah, the road to Rome.
Yeah.
Alrighty then.
Alrighty, indeed.
Got a lot of stuff in the woods there. Across from me.
So all that heavy cavalry at the top comes on turn 9?
Yeah, 9 o'clock. That's why I marked it. And the stuff that you've got, you're going to roll for it starting at 8 o'clock. The stuff
Right,
that's
the
over
stuff.
here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's more stuff that comes on.
But I'm only rolling for the.
You're rolling for each
battalion.
regiment. You're rolling for each regiment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you
Not the cavalry.
no, I don't think you roll for. Well, let's see what it says for the rules there. Roll the die for each regiment. But I don't think that dragoon that dragoon is part of the 4th Dragoon Division.
So I think he just comes.
So he comes on. I would say he comes on, and then everything else you got to kind of roll for. It looks like.
Yeah.
Souchet is the 3rd Division.
That's all
Who
nice.
does Souchet belong to? 3rd Division.
So where are you throwing Von Damme into?
He's going to go wherever he needs to go.
Okay.
Yeah. So
We shouldn't go and be aggressive and occupy Pratza. That's too far.
that's a little too far indeed.
Okay.
Yeah, we need to be a little bit less.
Oh, look at all this stuff they set up. And what are these false unit things? What are the false unit?
The false units, they're the ones that represent real units, but you just don't know what's what.
Why did they get those?
It's part of the.
Some are dummy though, right?
Yeah. Half of them were dummy, and half of them were real.
Oh, I'm
But
putting false.
they're real until they're revealed.
Yes,
They can
yes.
fire.
They can fire and they can move, and so in many regards they're just like a real thing. Well, where is
And they're only
Souchet?
revealed when they're suffer a loss. Is that?
You'd have to read up on the rules. I can't remember.
Well, I'm going to put 1,000 of those on our side. So I got to read up on that because I don't remember that from a special. Are they under special rules?
Yeah, I would think they would be somewhere in the special rules. Where is Souchet? That's my question.
You looking for the leader, Souchet?
Well, and the 3rd Division.
Don't I have him?
Do you have him?
think I do. Am I supposed to have him?
Okay, yeah, because I'm looking at, I'm trying to figure out, because I was looking at the thing there. It doesn't specify which division people are with. So it says Suchet comes on at the 8:20 turn. So the third
not
division.
now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got.
So that's part of the third division. So
All right. So he's on the board right now, near like on my French left flank. He's with you're saying the first division?
no,
So he shouldn't be on the board right now.
Well, based on what this is saying, no.
So where's the first division?
So that's
The first division off.
Caffarelli comes on later. He comes on at 9:40.
I don't know.
Yeah, because it's. I mean, Lon is there.
Right.
So what seems to be on the map is of Saux's Corps, Saint Hilaire, and Vendôme, and Legrand, and then the 5th Corps under Lon. You should have the light cavalry of the 5th Corps.
And they're there.
Yep. And then the cavalry reserve with Murat. We've got the 2nd Heavy Cavalry Division under de Hautpoul. And then you've got the Light Cavalry Brigade under Milhaud. And then the 2 guns there at Santon. And then coming on as reinforcements, Suchet's division comes on as a reinforcement.
What's his division again?
So he's the 3rd division of Lon's Corps, of the 5th Corps.
And where?
He comes on on the road to Brunn.
Okay. So where are those units right now then? Are they...
So they're on the map right now. They're these guys here, I think. Isn't this Suchet's? Isn't that Suchet?
Yeah, that's Suchet. Okay, yeah. So you're saying the 3rd division?
Yep, the 3rd division of the 5th Corps. So it doesn't come.
Far.
Yeah, so it doesn't march on until the 8:20 turn.
So these 2 units on the end here.
No. Not
Yeah.
the 3rd. The 3rd division is all of this. Right? Unless there's another division I'm not aware of. Who's Compans?
No, you're right.
Oh, he's the aide-de-camp to Lon. So all of this stuff is part of Suchet's division, and it will march on over here.
Okay, so he's not setting up. He's coming on where then?
He's coming on over here at the road.
Oh, okay.
Right, and then we have to take a look and see where Kellerman is. When does Nansute comes on at 9:40? Okay, so you've got Suchet marches on the board at 8:20. Then at 8:40, you get Caffarelli's division. And then at 9 o'clock, I've got Raffineries division. They're marked as 9 o'clock. Then we've got the
Well,
third.
I don't have.
No, you don't have those guys. Those are further.
So I don't have any infantry on the board. Is what you're telling me?
That's what I'm telling you.
Well, what's Napoleon doing, standing around on a hill?
Hopefully not getting killed. He's going to be directing those guns
Firing at
whoever comes at him.
the
I
light
guess.
cavalry coming
Yeah,
for him.
yeah.
Dear Lord.
And then the heavy cavalry at 9:40 Nansute, and then more of the.
So I got to pack all these boys up along with Suchet. Then all this.
In a word, yes.
Makes me angry. Just having a good time. Now you took my whole army from me.
I'm sorry.
This doesn't seem right.
Well, that's what it's saying here.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was looking for.
So that really that puts them a good 3 turns out of where they are. 2 turns anyway.
Yeah, and most of our reinforcements are marching on in that general area.
Sure. Right.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm like these are kind of set up based upon the smaller scenario for this wing of the battle, this side of the battle, I guess maybe that's why they're here. All right. Bitter pill. So that artillery's going away too. All those 3 artillery people.
Yeah. So just stack them over there by the road. Just stack them over here.
I'm working on it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But Compans, he stays on. Compan.
Yeah, and he would be with Marshal Lannes. Right. He's the ADC to Marshal Lannes.
Okay.
It's pretty crappy guns.
Just stack them up here by the
some
road.
Artwork.
Feel a little bare now.
Well, let's see. I will.
Can I not? Like I should be able to put my. Oh, we move first, right?
Yeah, we move first.
So I can move my cavalry down.
Yep. Yep.
Shield Napoleon.
Yep.
Those
All these
imaginary units are weird.
Yeah.
So they actually can fire. They're called I couldn't find it because they're called Versteckt counters. Okay. Well, they're on your side of the board, so.
Yeah, am I looking at? Are they all down in
5, 6,
the
7, 8,
lower right?
Yeah, they're on the lower right.
Yeah, that's right. There should be, and there's how many? There are a dozen or a 10?
Right. So the problem is he's got to take these units off. Right. He's got to take these units off because these false ones represent the real ones. So he's got to remove the real ones.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So it's not like
explains why
it's not like 10 in addition to the.
Well, that's what I was looking at.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't remember. I just thought, wow, I don't remember this much force.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he can deploy 10 counters, 5 which represent real units and 5 which represent fake ones.
Right. He just has to take the real ones off the map. Otherwise, he's got bonus stuff.
Bonus.
Yeah. Yeah. And then how do we get rid of them?
You have to shoot at them.
You have
Or
to hit,
assault
take
them or something.
a hit,
right?
don't they?
Yeah, they.
Where was the rule for them? Are they in the scenario
on-
rule or?
It's on, the scenario, page 51. They have a movement value of 8, a fire defense of 11. And
51.
Yeah, page 51 out of 133. It says Russian, Agersky, Jaeger.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so that's part of that scenario. Because that's a different scenario than what we're playing.
Oh, that's scenario 5.
Yeah. So what's it say for scenario 10?
I think scenario 5 is what we had played
Yeah, we'd played scenario 5.
a month back or so.
Yeah. Avant-garde. Center.
He doesn't have those then. Because that's in scenario 5.
Oh, but it says here under scenario 10, it says is allowed up to 10 Vertsky counters C scenario 5.
Oh, okay.
So it's there. Yeah.
Darn. Okay.
Well, and
I
so
was,
how it works is they will be revealed upon one of 3 actions. If they're fired upon by infantry or artillery and suffer a casualty, is meleeed, or is charged by cavalry. At the point of contact, the counter is revealed. When the counter is revealed, it's either replaced with the actual combat unit it designates, or it will be removed from play. It's got a movement of 8, fire defense of 11. During the coalition fire phase, all Vertsky counters, which would normally be able to make a fire attack on an enemy formation, will make a 1-to-1 fire attack, and the result will be applied. This includes loss of increments, leader casualties, morale checks. Okay. Yep, so you just assault them, or shoot them, or both.
I'm sorry, so I missed. So they don't have to actually take a loss.
No. Well, so if you fire at them with infantry or artillery and they suffer a casualty, then they're revealed. If they are meleeed or charged, they're also revealed. Right? So if you move up and you say, I'm going to assault you, then
That's right, I'm remembering that.
yeah, then they would have to.
And if they evaporate with attempted assault, the assault just doesn't happen, right?
Correct, because
You don't take the hex or anything.
yeah. Well, you would, I guess, advance into the hex because you were going to melee them, right? And then you realized, oh, there's nothing there. You don't actually roll for combat, but you would still advance into the hex, I guess. So yeah, and the counter's revealed. So okay, all right. So I'll have to. I'm not sure who's playing that side of the universe, but they'll have to pull all their Ergerskis off the map, and they'll then show up as one of these false units. So
You'll get to tell someone else to remove units, not just me.
yes, it's all part of being sporting. mostly sporting.
I was feeling so comfortable with the whole division there, and then you take it away.
I'm sorry. That's my mistake for reading the rules or reading the scenario. Try not to let that happen.
It's not a rule I try to follow usually.
There you go.
Just get in there and start rolling.
Yep. Nope. I know that's how you are. Can I get Napoleon killed? Well, that's always good. Yeah.
He's got some big numbers. Let's send him forward.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's always fun.
A polite way to put it.
Well, you just stack him with that artillery, and then he's got a plus 12 on whatever the roll is. See a nice 1-to-1 with a plus 12. What's the range on those guns? They're garbage. Range of 8. They can hardly hit anything.
Let's zoom in to even see that.
So no grand battery.
Not yet.
A less than grand battery right now.
Yeah.
So when the guard artillery comes, do we have guard artillery?
Yeah, there's some guard horse artillery shows up.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I think it's pretty good. And of course, we've got the band. The band is magical.
Who needs anything else?
Yeah, we have to read about the band. I think the band does something magical as well.
Do you have the?
Oh my God! Yeah, the guard artillery. At long range, it's 7. At medium range, it's 14. At point blank, it's 21. Yeah, it's all beautiful stuff.
Just stack that with Napoleon.
Oh, we got that. We got another leader. So we just stack it with him.
Who's that? What's his name?
His name is starts with an S. Let's see. Songus.
Some of these people you hear of once and they never.
Yeah, they end up getting killed or they get sent to Spain.
Yeah.
Or if they're really unlucky, they get sent to, Haiti.
There you go. That's probably where he was. Oh, I see Songus.
Yeah.
Songus and Solt were the two leaders you.
Yeah, then I'm gonna steal potentially. So we'll see.
Okay. Well, they're all waiting in the lobby.
Let's go to the lobby. It's
very limited. It's like the 5th Corps.
Hey guys.
At 9 a.m. The guards.
Okay, so column 5. Okay, we're trying to figure out the Russian reinforcements. Okay. All right, so initially we got column 1, 2, and 3. 4.
Just make it easy on yourself. Don't have any.
Okay. All right, so column 5 comes in at 9 o'clock. And we've got some cavalry reserve and some cavalry divisions coming in at 9. Some batteries and Cossacks. Where's the guard?
It's the Russian guard. It's like in the right rear.
Is that column 5? Yes.
It's part of column.
Pavlovich.
That's good. He's actually Konstantin Pavlovich because his dad was Pavel I, the emperor, right? That was
Grand Duke Constantine. Did you figure out your reinforcement schedule, Eric?
So we think the best way to interpret it is that at 8 o'clock, the elements of Friant are coming on and we're rolling for his arrival. And then we figure that the Dragoon Division, it says 9 o'clock in 2 places, and it says 8 o'clock in 1 place. So we kind of figure that that's going to show up at 9 o'clock. And then we would roll for them. so that's kind of, I figured, the easiest way of understanding how it works, because it doesn't make any sense otherwise. And it's really Devuz, it's Friant, and those guys that are marching up from the basically forced marching from Vienna that you're rolling for to see if they're, if they're all marching on together or in bits and pieces. So, and then everybody else is showing up basically at whatever the clock
And they
time
got
says.
time, 8:20, 8:40, 9,
Yep.
9:40, 9:40, 9:40. Okay, 10 o'clock. Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, they're pretty.
Yeah, and I think by 10:20 we've got everything on the map. The one thing that we hadn't talked about was they've got, obviously, from 8 to 9:40, artillery line of sight is limited to 5 hexes, and skirmishers can't fire at 2 hexes because of the fog. And then they have an optional rule for the Tsar needlessly complicating things, where at the beginning of the 8 o'clock turn and going to the 9:40 turn and ending with the 9:40 turn, each column rolls, and if you roll a 1 or 2, the combat units and leaders subtract 3 from their movement.
And then there's some other optional rules about redeployment.
Yeah, you can move them like 5 hexes or something.
It's a little weird. It's in page.
Is it part of scenario 10?
It's actually in the designer's notes or something. It's like, wait.
Yes, and it's under Sinar.
Page 109 of the PDF.
Oh, okay, way down there.
Yeah, way at the bottom.
Scenario 10, optional rules from the original game. Deployment's done at the same time secretly. Okay, French may redeploy up to 8 divisions. Well, obviously we're not going to do that. We already got stuff on the map.
I think if we play this again, that optional rule of redeploying the divisions and comp is really interesting because it completely changes up the game.
Yeah, no,
But
and
I
I think
think
that's
it's
probably
gonna-
why they have it, is so that way it can be something interesting and fresh. So you're not playing the historic game over and over again.
Exactly.
So-
But this time, the historical one's pretty solid. We use it. What do you guys want to do? We want to throw in the optional rule about the Tsar because the allies were all confused. That's kind of historical and kind of interesting.
Yeah, I know when they had done the play test in Tempe, they used that rule. So I mean, obviously David was sitting on the other side of the map at the time, but I'd be happy if we used it.
Of course you would.
Of course I would. Yeah.
The other thing to do would be to say, since we're all just getting on Vassal and the teams are formed the first time, and you leave out.
I'm sorry, what's that,
Like,
Brennan?
another way to do it would be the teams haven't played together before, and we're all getting straight on Vassal, so we just keep it straight and skip the optionals. I'm happy either way.
Yeah, I mean,
Or we could roll a die.
we could roll a die and see what we get. And that always goes in your favor, doesn't it, David?
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
All right. So, does anybody have any strong feelings about obviously the French would benefit from having that optional rule in effect, where it's going to be problematic for the Allies, or some of the Allies, to move. Not all of them, but some of them, at least for the initial portion of the game. So is it the case where the Allies are opposed to it entirely, or what do you guys want to do? Or we could just roll for it.
I think rolling the die, that rule sounds really cool, like 50-50.
Yep. Okay. So, David, why don't you roll one 6-sided die? If it's that is Plock, I should say. If it's even, it goes in the French favor. If it's odd, it goes in your favor.
So we want an odd number here. All right, great. You did pick me to roll this.
Of course.
And we got odds.
There you
we
go.
did our pick.
There you go. So sometimes it works.
Well, best two out of three.
Robert.
David M., do you just want to mention about false unit Versteck counters?
And I just
where
noticed
you
that
put the
we
ball.
don't have enough actual counters removed from the map for that.
Right. So whoever is playing over here, all of these Jaeger units have to be removed because because you would take them off to the side. They are represented by these false units.
It's the Jaegers. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
It's not
It's the
the
Jaeger.
battalions.
Yeah. So
So
all of
we're gonna-
these so all of these Jaeger units are half of the mysterious units are these 5 Jaeger units. Right? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Jaegers, and then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So half of the mystery counters represent the real Jaeger units. So just kind of take the Jaeger units and set them maybe off to the side.
Maybe
Maybe
move the up back, of course.
What's that?
I put battalions back, or took them off, as opposed to the Jaegers. So the Jaegers go off, and the battalions that I removed go back.
Yeah, yeah.
we-
It's the Jaegers that are the mystery ones.
Well, I had my teammate help me do that. So.
Okay, so let's go back down to our HQ for a minute, and we'll get that adjusted.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was clear in the thing because it says Russian Ergersky Jaegers Versteck counters, so it identifies them as the Russian Jaegers that are the ones that are swapped out with the mystery units. So it's not the line units. It's not the I don't know,
Well,
whatever they are.
It's also certain game designers who don't use terms like what is it?
Dummy counters,
you-
mystery.
And instead they have to use Verschacht. Just to be historically. I don't know. What is even... I have to look up that word. It must be... Yeah, false unit. Is that... Yeah.
Yeah.
Good as page 19 of special rules, they got a racy picture of women showing off.
That's meant to distract you from the game there.
I see. I thought that was really odd when I was reading through the rules. Like, why did they put that picture there?
That's how they get you to buy the next game.
We'll include more pictures next time.
Exactly. More
There you
scantily
go.
clad. More scantily clad French. It must be from a movie or something, right? That's like a photograph
Yeah.
type of a thing.
Yeah, I'm thinking that. Yeah.
I'm curious what the marching band does. I know in Mont Saint Jean, if you were in proximity to it, you would rally.
Yeah, I thought there was a rule, something about if you're in six X's.
Doot, 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 doot.
All right. So we got that adjusted.
Oh, okay, cool.
We can just have the... Oh, here is the Imperial Marching Bands on page 21. Anytime a French combat formation attempts to recover from a routed state within 4 hexes, the combat formation adds 6 to the die roll.
Oh, he's not as good at the band on it's Mont Saint Jean.
Do they take requests? Can they play like Highway to Hell?
There you go. We need Mozart to lead it or something.
Right.
All right. Well, I think we've got everything set up then. So I know that we probably do not have time to actually do a turn because we're about 2.5 hours into this. Yeah. So at least we have a good idea of what we're up to. Do you guys have everything set up mostly the way you like it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, we're all set to go here.
All right. Well, good. Then what I will do is I'll also email everybody the latest from the melee chart and melee matrix, so we have that up to
Well,
speed.
you can actually download it from Discord right at the moment.
Oh,
It's sitting
okay.
right there. So if you open up the chat in the lobby.
So they, with the false unit counter, they use the term versteckt, which means hidden. So why didn't they have a hidden counter instead?
So, and the one that came with the game, it is a hidden counter. The counter itself has got it's green. It's got a little Russian flag on it. There's 10 of them, and then on the back of it, it's either blank because it's doesn't represent a real unit, or it is it tells you the unit that it stands in for. It tells you which of the Jaegers it represents.
Oh, that's cool.
And so then you put it down, and the Russian player can look at it, but the French player can't. And I think when we played it, I lost track of what was real and what wasn't. So it became pretty much like, oh, okay, as much a surprise to me as it was to you when they got revealed. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Now, I believe we're doing it just like a Schrodinger's cat. So
Yeah, so what'll happen is when something happens that would trigger it being revealed, you're going to roll a die, odd, it's a false unit, even, it's a real unit. At some point in time, you'll have to have all 5 of your units on, but you could have, and I think in the time that Keith and I had played this, even at the end of the scenario, I think I had one false unit that was still a false unit that had never been revealed, kind of a thing. So, but everything else had been either revealed or destroyed. So,
Interesting. Okay.
okay, well, good. So everyone go ahead and make sure you save a copy of the game.
You do.
And this is the,
initial setup.
yep.
I gotta say, everybody, this is really fun.
Well, yeah, and it's going to be interesting. So, so David, what, Mr. Minyuri, what side of the universe are you controlling?
I will have the advanced group under Bagration.
Okay, so you're there on that end of the world.
Yep.
And then where are you at, Brennan?
I'm the center group, which includes the third and fourth columns and the Russian Guard.
Okay. Well, I'm sitting opposite you. I'm the center, so whatever I get that marches on will be opposite you. And then I guess that's David. You're opposite Robert.
Oh, again.
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 Hey, but this time we don't have to roll for mass exodus as the Prussian
Russians
landwehr
flee.
go running away. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind like a big river with steep banks, though. That would be fun. Okay.
Well, the pheasantry is almost as bad, or maybe worse than Ligny, so you'll be okay. So, all right, well, cool. Well, very good, guys. I will go ahead and I'll end the live stream. And thank you all for not